A barren field under a scorching sun. Famine grips the land. Naomi, a woman etched with worry, speaks to her husband, Elimelech. Elimelech makes the difficult decision. They must seek refuge in Moab. The family, including their sons Mahlon and Chilion, journeys to Moab. Years pass in Moab. The family settles, hoping for better times. Tragedy strikes. Elimelech falls ill and passes away. Naomi mourns the loss of her husband, now a widow in a foreign land. Her sons marry Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. Another blow. Mahlon and Chilion succumb to illness. Naomi is left alone with her daughters-in-law, grief weighing heavily. Naomi hears that the famine in Bethlehem has subsided. She decides to return to her homeland, a glimmer of hope flickering. Naomi tells Orpah and Ruth to return to their families in Moab. "Go back, my daughters," Naomi urges, her voice filled with sorrow. "Find rest in your own homes," she pleads, wishing them well. Orpah and Ruth weep, torn between loyalty and Naomi's wishes. Orpah tearfully bids farewell to Naomi, returning to her people. Ruth remains, her eyes fixed on Naomi with unwavering resolve. "Don't urge me to leave you," Ruth says, her voice firm. "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." Naomi, touched by Ruth's devotion, ceases to argue. The two widows begin their journey back to Bethlehem. A long and arduous road stretches before them, filled with uncertainty. Naomi's face is etched with sorrow and resignation. Ruth walks beside her, a pillar of strength and loyalty. They pass through desolate landscapes, the weight of their past heavy. Naomi reflects on her losses, feeling bitter and empty. "Call me Mara," she thinks, "for the Almighty has made my life very bitter." Ruth gazes ahead, determined to support Naomi in her grief. She is a Moabite woman, embracing a new life and a new God. The sun beats down on them as they continue their journey. They share stories and memories, finding solace in each other's company. Ruth's unwavering loyalty becomes a beacon of hope for Naomi. Naomi sees the goodness in Ruth's heart, a rare and precious gift. They arrive at the outskirts of Bethlehem, weary but resolute. The townspeople recognize Naomi, their faces a mixture of surprise and pity. "Can this be Naomi?" they whisper, remembering her former life. Naomi is overwhelmed by the memories of her past happiness. She feels like a stranger in her own land, a shadow of her former self. Ruth stands protectively beside Naomi, ready to face whatever comes. They enter Bethlehem, two widows seeking a new beginning. The future is uncertain, but their bond remains unbreakable. Naomi leans on Ruth, finding strength in her unwavering devotion. Ruth commits to following Naomi, her people, and her God. The two widows face an uncertain future with no means of support. Naomi is filled with sorrow, while Ruth remains steadfast. They seek shelter and rest, preparing for the challenges ahead. Ruth's loyalty is a testament to the power of love and commitment. Naomi's sorrow is tempered by Ruth's unwavering support. Together, they will navigate the complexities of their new life. Their journey is a story of devotion, resilience, and hope. The stage is set for a tale of redemption and restoration. Ruth's kindness shines brightly amidst Naomi's despair. They find solace in their shared faith and mutual support. Their bond deepens with each passing day. Ruth's unwavering commitment is a beacon of light. Naomi finds comfort in Ruth's unwavering presence. Ruth looks around, a mix of apprehension and determination in her eyes. They find a small, humble dwelling on the edge of town. Ruth tells Naomi, "I will go to the fields and glean grain." Naomi nods, her face etched with worry and gratitude. Ruth sets out early the next morning, a simple basket in hand. She enters a vast field ripe with golden barley. Other gleaners are already at work, their backs bent low. Ruth respectfully asks the foreman for permission to glean. He nods curtly, gesturing towards a section of the field. Ruth begins to gather the fallen grain, her movements diligent. The sun beats down, and sweat trickles down her face. Boaz, a wealthy landowner, arrives to inspect his harvest. He surveys the field, his gaze falling upon Ruth. He asks his foreman, "Who is that young woman?" The foreman replies, "It is Ruth, the Moabitess." He explains her loyalty to Naomi and her hard work. Boaz approaches Ruth, his presence commanding respect. Ruth looks up, startled by his sudden appearance. Boaz says, "Stay here and glean with my servant girls." He instructs his men not to harass her and to leave extra grain. Ruth is overwhelmed by his unexpected kindness. She bows low, saying, "Why are you so kind to me?" Boaz replies, "I have heard of your devotion to Naomi." He continues, "May the Lord reward you for your deeds." Ruth continues to glean, feeling a sense of hope. Boaz instructs his servant to offer her water. Ruth drinks gratefully, her thirst quenched. At lunchtime, Boaz invites her to share a meal with his workers. She sits among them, feeling a sense of belonging. Boaz offers her roasted grain, and she eats her fill. She saves some to take back to Naomi. As the day ends, Ruth gathers her gleanings. She is surprised by the abundance she has collected. She returns to Naomi, her basket overflowing with grain. Naomi is astonished by the amount of grain. Ruth tells her about Boaz's kindness and generosity. Naomi asks, "Whose field were you gleaning in today?" Ruth replies, "The man's name is Boaz." Naomi exclaims, "Boaz, he is one of our kinsmen." Naomi explains Boaz's role as a kinsman-redeemer. Naomi says, "This is a sign of God's favor." Naomi advises Ruth to continue gleaning in Boaz's field. Ruth follows Naomi's advice, working diligently each day. She becomes a familiar figure in Boaz's field. Boaz watches over her, ensuring her safety and well-being. The stage is set for Ruth's bold move. Naomi prepares Ruth for her encounter with Boaz. Naomi instructs Ruth to follow her plan carefully. Tonight, Boaz will be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Wash yourself, put on perfume, and dress in your best clothes, Naomi advises. But don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying, then go and uncover his feet. And lie down there. He will tell you what to do. Ruth listens intently, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and trepidation. I will do whatever you say, Ruth promises, trusting Naomi's wisdom. That night, Ruth quietly approaches the threshing floor. Boaz is asleep near the pile of grain, the moon casting long shadows. Ruth carefully uncovers his feet and lies down. In the middle of the night, Boaz startles awake, feeling someone at his feet. Who are you? He asks, his voice filled with surprise. I am Ruth, your servant, she replies softly. Spread the corner of your garment over me, for you are a kinsman-redeemer. Boaz is deeply moved by Ruth's request and her virtuous character. The Lord bless you, my daughter, Boaz says, his voice gentle. This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. For you have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. Now, do not be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All my fellow townsmen know that you are a woman of noble character. It is true that I am a kinsman-redeemer. However, there is one nearer than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to redeem you, good. Let him redeem you, but if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will. Lie here until morning. Boaz fills Ruth's cloak with barley, a generous gift. Don't let anyone know a woman came to the threshing floor, Boaz says. Ruth returns to Naomi, who eagerly awaits her news. How did it go, my daughter? Naomi asks, her voice filled with anticipation. Ruth tells Naomi everything Boaz said and gives her the barley. Wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens, Naomi advises. For the man will not rest until the matter is settled today. Boaz goes to the town gate and sits there, waiting for the nearer kinsman. When he comes along, Boaz calls out, Come over here, my friend, and sit down. Boaz gathers 10 leading elders of the town as witnesses. Boaz explains the situation to the kinsman-redeemer. Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to our brother Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of these seated here. If you want to redeem it, do so, but if you do not want to, tell me. So I will know, for no one has the right to redeem it but you, and I am next in line. I will redeem it, the kinsman replies without hesitation. Boaz then adds, When you buy the land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the dead man's widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property. The kinsman-redeemer pauses, realizing the implications. Then I cannot redeem it for myself, he says, reconsidering. Because I might endanger my own estate, you redeem it yourself. Take my right of redemption, since I cannot do it. The kinsman removes his sandal, a symbolic act of transferring his right. Boaz announces to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses. I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, to be my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family and from the town records. Today you are witnesses." The elders and all the people at the gate respond, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, the two who built up the house of Israel. May you have standing in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. Through the offspring the Lord gives you by this young woman, may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." Boaz takes Ruth, and she becomes his wife. She gives birth to a son. The women say to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman-redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." Naomi takes the child in her arms and cares for him. The women living there said, "Naomi has a son." And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. This, then, is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Amminadab, Amminadab the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, Boaz the father of Obed, Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of David. From David's line would come the Messiah. What began as loss became part of God's greater plan. God sees faithfulness in hard times and is always at work. God can turn loss into blessing and sorrow into joy.